Hello, third graders. Today we are going to be working on finding products of two single-digit numbers using properties of multiplication we've already learned. To get us thinking about it, we are going to do notice and wonder. Take a look at the picture on the left. What's something that you notice? Something I notice is that the rectangle has two different colors. There is one white side or section and one gray side or section. I also notice that the gray side is smaller than the white side. I wonder, what could we write as a multiplication sentence to represent this rectangle? What do you wonder? As we go through today's lesson, think about what we can do to make multiplication problems easier to solve.
Wow, Mr. Pyzik, that was really neat. There's a bunch of stuff I noticed and wondered there. Well, hey boys and girls, this is Mr. Tang. I'm going to walk you through a couple of these different properties to multiply.
How can you use properties to multiply by multiples of 10? Think about that question during the lesson. How can you find the product of 4 times 20? You know how to use an open number line to model multiplication. What does the number line show? 4 jumps of 20. Where does the last jump end?
Select your answer.
Well, I see the first one ends at 20, the next one ends at 40, and then we have 60, and the last one is at 80.
The last jump ends at 80. You can also use properties to explain a rule for finding a product when one factor is a multiple of 10. One way is to use the associative property of multiplication to group the factors. Think of 20 as 2 times 10. So 4 times 20 equals 4 times the quantity 2 times 10. Does it matter if you multiply 4 times 2 first or 2 times 10 first?
Select your answer.
That's a great question. If we tested it out, we would have 4 times 2 is 8, times 10 is 80, or if we did 2 times 10 first is 20, times 4 is also 80. So does it matter?
No. The associative property of multiplication says the grouping of the factors does not matter. So you can say 4 times 20 equals the quantity 4 times 2 times 10. Since 4 times 2 equals 8, that means 4 times 20 equals 8 times 10. Remember the tens facts pattern. Think about the product of a number and 10. The product has a 0 in the ones place. The other factor is written to the left of the 0. So 4 times 20 equals 80. You can also use the distributive property to decompose a factor. Since 4 equals 2 plus 2, 4 times 20 equals the quantity 2 plus 2 times 20. So, by the distributive property, 4 times 20 equals 2 times 20 plus 2 times 20. That means 4 times 20 equals 40 plus 40. So 4 times 20 equals 80. How is the distributive property different from the associative property of multiplication?
So both of these properties are really important to really understand conceptually how we have different ways and strategies to multiply. Think about them as you continue.
The associative property of multiplication says that you can change the grouping of the factors. The distributive property decomposes a factor. Now you know how to use properties to multiply.
Great job!
Great job indeed, boys and girls. And back to Mr. Pizek.
Take a look at the rectangle. What multiplication expression could we write to represent the rectangle below? I notice that the rectangle is labeled as 4 by 9. So I know I can write the expression 4 times 9 to represent the total space of the rectangle. Let's think about how we could divide or decompose this rectangle to make it easier. How might you decompose the rectangle into 2 smaller ones to make it easier? One way we could is by dividing or decomposing the 9 into 5 and 4. So we have 2 smaller rectangles, one that is 4 groups of 5 and another that is 4 groups of 4. To me, that's easier than trying to figure out 4 times 9. So think about it. What is 4 times 5? 20. Good job. And what's 4 times 4? 16. Way to go. To find my answer, I can now add 20 and 16 together, which equals 36. So 4 times 9 is the same as 36. Let's take a look at another way to decompose and use the distributive property to solve this problem. Again, we have 4 groups of 9, or 4 times 9. Instead of decomposing the 9, what if we decompose the 4? How might you do that? I can decompose the 4 as 2 and 2. Man, doubles facts are easy, aren't they? So now I have 2 times 9 plus 2 times 9. Think about what is 2 groups of 9. 2 times 9 is 18. Another 2 times 9 is 18. And 18 plus 18 is 36. So again, we see 4 times 9 is equal to 36. Try some on your own now. You will complete the reteach page 10-2 on a separate sheet of paper to practice using the distributive property. Good luck.
Wow. Thanks again, Mr. Pizek. That was awesome. Now, boys and girls, it's your turn. Use what you learned today to try it out for yourself. In your packet, you have reteach page 10-2. Has some vocabulary at the top talking about the associative property and the distributive property of multiplication. And then take a look at the tiered task called Best Deal. Have fun, and we'll see you soon.